Hello everyone. Today I wanted to provide you with a little bit of extra guidance on how to use the grading rubrics in the course. These are designed to help you to understand what you need to do in order to maximize what you can accomplish on our essays. So to get started, we're at the home page for the course. We just go over here and click the Seminars button, and it will bring up the Seminars area in which you will find the important information folder, and there it is. So let's click that, and it will take us into a number of resources, most of which you're probably already familiar with: the must-read information, the checklist, participation policy, how to cite, reference, and quote sources, the APA examples, a number of things. But here are the grading rubrics, so let's click the link for that, and this will bring up the rubrics for the assignments that we have, the essay assignments. And as you probably already know, every week we have an understanding prejudice essay, a discussion question essay, and an essay assignment. And each of these assignments I've provided a grading rubric to help you in preparing your essay. So I just wanted to go through a couple of points on these rubrics to make sure that you're clear on how to use them. And if you do that, I think you'll find it'll make it a little bit easier to build effective essays. Okay, so let's scroll down. There's some other information that's important here as well, but let's scroll down to the rubrics. There's one for understanding prejudice. There's one for the understanding prejudice interview assignment, one for the discussion question assignment, and one for the essay rubric assignment. So we're going to start. What I have to say will apply to all of them. So let's start with the Understanding Prejudice rubric here, since that's the first assignment that we have every week. So, alright, there are three elements to the rubric: content, writing, and APA. The majority of points are associated with content for our assignments, 20 points. Information incorporated is a maximum of 12, and the analysis is a maximum of 8 for a total of 20. Writing is 7 points, and the smallest element is APA, which is only 3 points out of the 30 points for the assignment. So how do we use the information incorporated rubric in thinking about our essays? Well, in each of our assignments you are told what resources to use for the assignment. So let's assume, for purposes of discussion, you were assigned to use two resources. One of them would typically be the textbook, another could be an article that I provide to you, or one that you get from the library. It could be a website. In any event, let's assume that you have the textbook and one other resource you're using. To get the maximum points, the excellent category, you have to incorporate and cite more than 3 pieces of pertinent information from each source specified in the assignment instructions. That means you need to have more than 3 pieces of information that's pertinent to the assignment, incorporated and cited from the textbook, and more than 3 pieces of pertinent information incorporated and cited from your other source. If you do that, you'll qualify for 11 or 12 points, the excellent category. If you have more than 3 pieces of information incorporated and cited from one source, but only 3 from your other source, you can't qualify for this category. You would fall to the next category, which is superior. To qualify for superior, you have to incorporate and cite 3 pieces of information from each source specified in the assignment instructions, which you will have done. You did 3 for one and 4 from another, but you can't qualify for excellent because you only have 3, and you need to have more than 3 for excellent, so you would qualify for superior and the 10 points associated with that. Let's assume that you had 3 pieces of information incorporated from the textbook, but only 2 pieces from your other source. Well, you couldn't qualify for either one of these, but you could qualify for satisfactory and the 9 points associated with it, because you have 2 pieces from one source and 3 from another. So, and then passing, incorporate and cite at least 1 piece of pertinent information from each source. If you had 1 piece from each source, you would qualify here. If you had 10 pieces from one source but only 1 from another, you would still be under this category, because you have to have more than 1 to qualify for the other categories. And then finally, the needs improvement category does not incorporate and cite at least one piece of pertinent information from one or more of the sources specified in the assignment instructions. So if you don't have at least one piece from each of the sources specified in the instructions, you're going to fall into this category right here, needs improvement. The analysis category is related to this because in order to provide persuasive argumentation and support, and you can see here supported with evidence and careful critical thinking, in order to do a good job on that, you have to have information with which you are working in doing your analysis. So it's not going to be possible for you to do a great job in terms of supporting your argument with evidence if you don't include any evidence. The evidence is going to come from the sources that you use for your assignment. So I hope that'll help. Hope that'll help somewhat. With writing, it's even simpler because it just tells you to do excellent in writing, no more than one error, get 7 points. No more than 2 errors will earn 6 points. No more than 4 errors, 5 points, and more than 4 errors will give you 0 to 4 points. And it says see margin comments because I will put in the margin comments a little note indicating the errors for you, so it's easy for you to find. APA, accurate use of APA format, no more than 1 error is 3 points, no more than 2, 2 points, no more than 4, 1 point, more than 4, 0 points, and again, only a maximum of 3 points is allocated out of the 30 to APA. If you use the rubric, it should help you to improve your essays. If you incorporate and cite plenty of information from your sources, you can do well in the section of the assignment content for which the most points are allocated. So this makes sense if you think about it, because if you don't incorporate and cite information from your sources, how are you going to demonstrate your mastery of, understanding of, and ability to apply that information? These essays represent an opportunity for you to display your understanding of and ability to apply the information in the assigned sources, just like in any course. You have to be able to demonstrate that you got it. And you do that by incorporating the pertinent information and discussing it in your essays. So that's it on this. I hope it will help you. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to send me a note in your private feedback group. If you do that, it triggers an email to me letting me know that you have sent me a message, and I'll be happy to respond to you as best I can. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much, and I look forward to reading your work in the coming week.